Today we will see chapter 1 Wonderful Waste part 2. But before we start this chapter, this part, let's have a recap of first part. So in the first part you got that Maharaja of Travancore, he ordered a grand dinner in his palace for important people. You can see in the picture also, Maharaja gave order to cook for grand dinner in his palace for important people. And that time the cook was ready to prepare grand dinner in the kitchen. Now one side in the kitchen the cook was preparing nice dishes. That time Maharaja visited kitchen to see what kind of dishes were being prepared by the cook. So that time Maharaja of Travancore, he saw some vegetable scraps lying near the cook. He asked cook to use those vegetable scraps for the cooking. Now let's see what happens in the next part. Let's see the second part of this chapter. You can see on the screen the second part. The cook is there in the kitchen. You can see the cook is making vegetable scraps also for cooking. Now let's understand the chapter by reading. Okay, let's have a reading of this chapter Wonderful Waste part 2. Then he cut them into long strips. He put them in a huge pot and placed it on the fire to cook. Next, he ground some fresh coconut, green chilies and garlic together. He added this paste and some salt to the cooking vegetables. So let's have an explanation of this first paragraph. First of all, the cook took all the vegetables bits. He cut them into long strips. And afterwards, he put all the vegetable scraps, or you can say bits, in the huge pot and it placed it on the fire for cooking. Next, he ground some fresh coconut, green chilies and garlic together and he made a paste. And he added this paste and some salt to the cooking vegetables. Next para, a tempting smell started coming from the pot. Now he whipped some curd and added it to the curry. He also poured a few spoonfuls of coconut oil and decorated the dish with curry leaves. So let's have an explanation of second paragraph. Tempting smell. Tempting smell, it means what kind of smell? It means when you smell, your mouth will be watering for taste. That kind of smell was coming out after the vegetables were cooked. Next, he whipped. Here whip means what do we call mix. So he mixed some curd and added it to the curry. Afterwards, he poured a few spoonfuls of coconut oil and decorated that dish with curry leaves. So he sprinkled some curry leaves on the new dish, whatever the dish was prepared from the vegetable bits. Third para, lo and behold. Now lo and behold, it means, the meaning of lo and behold, it means what a surprise. The new dish was ready. It was a surprise for the cook. Why? Because the new dish was ready from the vegetable scraps. The cook served this new dish to the guest that evening. Everyone was eager to know the name of the new dish. The cook thought and thought, then a name came to his mind. He named it Avial. So after the dish was prepared, the cook served this dish to the guest, whatever the guests were welcome in the palace by the Maharaja. Now everyone was very eager to know the name of the new dish because it was delicious, tasty dish. So the cook thought for some time and at last he got a name in his mind and he named it Avial. Next para, Avial became famous all over Kerala and is now one of the dishes in a traditional Kerala feast. And imagine, it all came from a basket of waste. So dear students, last para, Avial. The cook gave name Avial to the new dish, whatever the dish was prepared from the vegetable scraps. So it became famous all over Kerala state. It's a story of Kerala state. In the Kerala state, there is an ancient city. You can say Travancore. So now that this Avial, it became one of the This is in the traditional feast. Now traditional feast means, what do you call? It means it's a special dish that is prepared on special occasions. And it all came from a basket of waste. So dear students, do you know that a real new dish was prepared by the cook? It was prepared from the vegetable scraps. Those vegetable scraps that the cook was going to throw out from the kitchen. But when Maharaja entered the kitchen and he saw the vegetable scraps, that time Maharaja of Travancore, he ordered cook to prepare, or you can say to use this vegetable scraps for cooking. And that time the Maharaja left the kitchen and cook was worried, but cook got idea and he started to make this dish, and you can see avial came as a new dish. So now dear students, please remember, and do you know who was the cook and who was the king? The king's name was Virat. Virat was the king of Travancore. It is an ancient city in Kerala and it is known as Trivandrum. And Bhim, the cook was Bhim. Bhim, if you remember, when the Pandavas were hiding from Kauravas, that time the Bhim was cook in the kingdom of King Virat in Travancore. And Bhim prepared this dish that is called avial. So dear students, please remember this chapter 1 Wonderful Waste part 2.